It will take an oil exploration to determine whether the country's resources include black gold. Now, while the company is ready to proceed, government has said it will allow the people to decide whether to make that move. Earlier this week, there was a bit of confusion over whether licenses were granted for a major oil firm to proceed with drilling, but government said no such thing happened. Today, our Janaea Noel Ferguson sat down with one of the company's executives who shared their position on the matter.
BPC's Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Paul Goussois, is confident that after public consultation, Bahamians will vote in favor of oil exploration in the Bahamas. He, however, remains tight-lipped on whether or not the company has been given the green light to proceed.
The comments on the licenses need to come from the government. They're the ones that control the licenses.
Leading up to the May 7th general elections, the former administration denied that BPC's license was renewed and denied that the government accepted fees submitted for annual rental of its 5 petroleum licenses for the year April 2012-2013. The former government had yet to determine its course of action in connection with license renewal. The Christie-led administration at the time promised a referendum on the issue. However, a few days ago, BPC issued a statement stating that it is and has always been in full compliance with the terms of the signed oil exploration licenses, the provisions of the Petroleum Act, and the petroleum regulations of the Bahamas.
We were waiting for confirmation from the government. We had submitted a check, and there was nobody in government at the time because the government had been dissolved, the previous government, to accept the check. But now we've submitted the check, it's been accepted, and we are moving forward.
But does moving forward mean that the license was renewed? Goussois refused to budge on the matter, only reiterating that the government would have to address this issue.
The status of the licenses come from the government.
BPC's top executive admits that since talks of a referendum came about, their plans have been delayed as they hope to begin exploration by April 2013. Were you disappointed that this whole referendum idea came about?
Yes, it does put a hurdle, but again, I'm perfectly confident that when we communicate the facts and people understand, what the real risk is, what mitigation measures we're putting in place, and what the potential benefits are, that they're going to vote for it.
He also cleared up some common misconceptions about this process.
The biggest misconception is that the oil is already there. It is an exploration prospect, and there is a chance when we drill the well that we won't find producible hydrocarbons. In fact, we put the risk at somewhere between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 that will be successful. So that means 2 times out of 3 or 3 times out of 4, it won't find commercial hydrocarbons. The other misconception is what the benefits to the government are going to be. People have been on radio shows saying there's only a 12.5% royalty, and other countries get more than that. In fact, the royalty is a sliding scale that very quickly goes up to 25%. And if we find what we think is there, it'll quickly reach 25%.
He is, however, optimistic about the prospects of oil in the Bahamas.
I am confident there is a trap. I am confident there is reservoir. I'm confident if we can drill deep enough, there'll be extensive seals. The big question is there source rock, and has it generated enough oil to fill the structures? The government in the first 10 years of our production would have an income of $30 billion.
Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS News Network.
Now, BPC's chief operating officer says that if they are successful in finding oil in Bahamian waters, then this could mean a reduction in electricity cost.
Part of the reason the energy rates are so high now is because the government is dependent on tariffs for their income. And of course, that drives the price of the heating oil, or the oil that's used to generate the electricity up, which translates into higher energy costs. With this alternate source of income, the government would be in a position to reduce those tariffs, not only on the fuel oil, but other items that are critical to the economy, so that they would become cheaper to the Bahamians.
The executive says the company is also hoping to offer shares.
Very actively trying to get our shares listed on the BPC so that Bahamians can buy those shares and participate in the ownership of the company.